let's start at Anfield, where the spotlight was very much not just on Arne Slot and Liverpool, but Mo Salah. We'd had the toxic rant after the Leeds game. We'd seen the fallout. We saw him not being part of the squad against Inter Milan in the Champions League. There was debate, Rob, whether he would be involved this weekend. It was announced on Friday that he was in the match day squad. The big question was, and we're waiting in the studio to see if he's in the starting 11. He wasn't. He was on the bench, but he got on after 26 minutes when Joe Gomez came off, which is another worry for Liverpool, a sideline worry. Joe Gomez just can't keep him fit, especially as he might need him. But Mo came on. Mo played his part. How go Mo, my friend?
Well, it's very interesting, Rob, because I think me and you, like many, many others, didn't think he was going to wear the Liverpool shirt again.
Yeah.
And after a conversation, a meeting between the manager, Arne Slot, and Mo Salah, was that Thursday or Friday?
Yeah.
Obviously, he's on the bench and he got on into the game.
Yeah.
I'll say this about this situation. Arne Slot has played it, I think, really well. Difficult situation. I think he's played a bit of a blinder. Very calm, very measured in all of his press conferences, Rob. Throughout the whole process, was very careful with what he said. I'm going to speak to Mo. I'm not ruling. Basically, he wasn't ruling anything in or anything out. Yeah. And what I liked about the game against Brighton was, and that squad, he put the football club first, Rob. He put the football club first. We need Mo Salah. I've had a conversation. Now, the conversation might have gone great, might not have gone great, but it went well enough that he needed him in the squad. And when Joe Gomez, Rob, gets injured, it's like, this is kind of awkward. Yeah. And he did what the team needed. Put Szoboszlai to right back. He needed a right winger. He's got Mo Salah on the bench. It's only 26 minutes, but he did the right thing. Brought him into the game. Of course, he got a corner assist for Ekitike's header. So that's my first kind of line, is that we're all going to get stuff right and wrong about this situation because we don't know the ins and outs and conversations. But just think for Arne Slot, Rob, could he have done anything much better?
No, but I would say where I'd add to that, Rob, is that I think it wasn't just an Arne Slot. I think it's a club. I think Richard Hughes, Michael Edwards were part of this, probably the ownership group, the FSG group. There was conversations. I think it was done from the club's point of view, in that, I think I said on last podcast, the club and Arne Slot have to come above Mo Salah, how great a player he is. And it was. What I found quite interesting, Rob, on the day, and Tim asked me a couple of times, and Bex, as we're sitting in studio, I thought Mo Salah was very giving in his performance. I thought there was 2 or 3 times when he'd normally come inside, pull the trigger. I thought he looked to play people in a couple of times. I thought we showed a shot, Rob, where there was a corner kick to Liverpool. Brighton broke away. He ran from box to box at full speed like I've probably never seen him do. Full speed, Rob, not like a thingy. So I kind of felt like he wanted to go on. He wanted to show that he was committed. He didn't want to let anybody down. He assists for the goal, which takes him to the record goals and assists for any individual in the Premier League team. An incredible record for him to have. People have debated. I was trying to listen last night, trying to take the temperature of where people stood. Some think it's a victory for Slot. Some think it's a victory for Salah. It was interesting at the end, Rob, that the sort of clapping and the celebration and the thing, and then he's reposted that out, the fans singing his name. I don't know if that's part of a top player's ego that you have to have if you're going to be one of those players, and that's not criticism. That's an observation of him. I think, as you say, though, that I think the club and Arne Slot have played it perfectly. I'm not convinced it's totally done. I'm not convinced he's apologised, and I don't know if that's what might be needed to move on to the next stage. But I think we've got to the AFCON. He's gone away. Yeah. They've put the fire out a little bit, and everybody can settle down for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I think so, Rob. And again, well played by the club. I mean, Mo Salah, to be fair, obviously wanted to be part of the squad and came on and did his thing, which I'll get to in a second. I just think we're not going to know this, Rob, until the next few weeks. When the window opens, we're not going to know. We're going to know really how that conversation went, given what happens in the window. And those Saudi clubs, are they going to come in for him? Is he going to leave the club? Because unless there's a change of heart from him about being in the side, being not in the team, this is going to happen again when he's out the team.
Yeah.
You know, that's quite the thing to resolve in a conversation, Rob, is his kind of thought about him deserving to play. We all know he wants to play every minute. You know, which is great, by the way, commendable, by the way, that you want to play. But when you don't play, don't throw it out there in the public forum with the journos that he did. Yeah. So I think the final outcome of this is going to be in January. Now, if he comes back after the window closes and still at for Liverpool Football Club, then wow, that would surprise me. Yeah. And then we're all going to watch about whether he plays, how does he play, what happens if he's on the bench, what happens when he comes off. I mean, it's just going to be a sideline that I don't think the manager's going to want. Just back on his playing, Rob. Now, I get he made a corner, you know, he gets an assist. Yeah. You did point out the run he made back. I mean, maybe I'm a one-off here. I didn't think he played well. I think there was times where he missed his last ball, Rob, the final ball, the through ball. I thought he gave the ball away a lot. Yeah. He made the shot hit over the bar, which he might normally assist. I mean, this is the
circumstance of him possibly feeling the situation more than he makes out. You know, he plays like he's a superstar now. Deep inside, he's probably hurting. Deep inside, I don't know. You know, I know what you mean. The couple of times he could have played people in.
The final ball,
he overhit it and that. But I thought he was looking for teammates when on other occasions I thought he did
look for other teammates. You're right. Yeah, I know. Now the Mo that's not in his own brain probably shoots himself and he's a bit more greedy and selfish. But I think you're right. I think it was a sense of he wanted to give a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's just him. I think there's two other things we've got to talk about this, Rob. I thought there's three lines come out of this game for me. Obviously the Mo Salah line, which we've talked about. Yeah. I think the team play is how the team is playing as another line, and Hugo Ekitike's qualities. You know, wherever you
Ekitike should be higher up the conversation because right now he's Liverpool's saviour. He's the most dangerous footballer they got. His build-up plays excellent. The Isak thing right now he's ahead of Isak. And Arne Slot's not in a position where he can mess with that at the moment. And if he continues to score the goals, unless he changes the system or he played the diamond, didn't he, against Inter, where he had the two of them. But right now, if I'm playing one centre-forward, Hugo Ekitike starts in my Liverpool teams.
Yeah. And Alexander Isak, Rob, when I read the kind of the commentary around him being on the bench, he had a knock, he's not quite right. My goodness, haven't we heard that a few times, Rob? You know, about this guy. Very, very delicate in terms of his fitness level, and he hasn't really looked the part for Liverpool, which would be a concern. So I'm with you 100%. I liked Hugo Ekitike from watching his clips, from seeing him move to Liverpool, to his first game when we were there at Anfield, to everything about him. Now, there's going to be times he's a little quiet. He's had a couple of quiet games, but I like his energy, his quality. He's a goal scorer. He's young. He's enthusiastic. He's hungry. He's got nothing in his head apart from just going out there and trying to play well for his team. So I think that again, his quality and his goals, you know, it's starting to become pretty obvious that he's the main guy right now. But then you do have a problem with Isak with the money paid, and the club and Richard Hughes, the director of football, will want to see him integrated. And I think Arne Slot, Rob, over the last few weeks before he had this knock, was trying to play him into form. Yeah. And it still hasn't really happened. He's got the knock. And like you said, if there's one striker, it's going to be Ekitike. How do you think Liverpool played in general, Rob? I know that they had a bad run, and I understand the need, and we called for the need to start getting some clean sheets, start to get a bit more of a foundation, which they've done. So you tick that box. Yeah. Now, greedy me and greedy Liverpool fans want a little bit more creativity. I thought it was a kind of a laboured performance.
Yeah, I mean, second half, Brighton got back into the game, and on a different day, you know, the keeper makes a couple of saves. You know, better finishing. From Brighton, it could have been different. So it's absolutely not like, you know, the job's done now. We've solved the problem. There's still issues, Rob, with the way they play. I think he's trying to work out two things: the shape of the team, dependent on the players he's got available. I mean, Szoboszlai, having to keep moving him is not ideal. You need him in his best position. I don't know if that then affects Wirtz, whether Wirtz is going to come off the bench or is Wirtz going to start on one of the wider positions, maybe the left-hand side. Especially with Gakpo out. So I still think there's like a few things for Arne Slot to work out, Rob, before I kind of feel like they're into a run of form.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, we give credit for this clean sheet. Yeah. But, I mean, if you look back at the game, and of course we watched the game very closely, and they're still giving up a lot of chances. You know, Brighton, I think Gruda went through. I think they had a few opportunities where players should absolutely score. against them. So even though it feels better and the results say it's better, the eye still says there's still a bit of work to do defensively. Just on Florian Wirtz, Rob, I mean, how long do we keep... I mean, my note on him is, again, very average. That's 14 appearances in the Premier League, no goals, no assists. He had a little impact. To be fair, Alexis McAllister, I thought, was particularly quiet again as well. You know, it's like sometimes you watch VH, you sort of see some of the skills, but when are we going to I'll ask you, mate, when are we going to start to see that in production, in goal involvements, in real threat and real penetration passing or sport? We're not seeing it enough.
And I kind of feel as though I'm trying to give him an out now, and I'm trying to put myself in his position, Rob. I think he's just, in some respects, come into the football club at such a difficult time.
Maybe.
There's not a lot that's nailed down for Liverpool that you say, that bit's working. So he's kind of finding his way. He's a young man. It's a new league. At times he might show for the ball, and I'm trying to look at this a little bit. Is he getting the ball where he wants it, or are we going like, I'm not so sure about him. I'll give it to Gravenberg. I'll give it to Szoboszlai. I'll feed it out to Mo or whatever. I don't know if he's getting the ball in the air. I saw him play for Germany in one of the international breaks we had early in the season, Rob, and he looked a different player. I think I said to you, geez, I saw Wirtz playing the other day. I watched the German game because it was Wirtz and Voldemort playing. I thought, I'll get a look at them because they'd just come in the Premier League. Didn't half play well. Wirtz didn't half get on the ball, mate. Didn't half, like, have a bit of swagger about him and that. And you see, you know, in an environment he's comfortable in that he knows, and then he's come to the Liverpool thing, and it looks to me like he's gone safe. He's gone within himself, and that probably is why we're only getting half the player. I'm trying to give him an out because I think there's a talented footballer in there, and I think there could be a really important player for Liverpool, but somehow they've got to find a way to get that out.
Yeah, I mean, it's our job, Rob, to try and make these, you know, different kind of observations and stuff, and part of that, of course, is to give him time and to understand the situation. Playing for the German national team, dominating the international football is probably very different to trying to be creative in Liverpool's team, but. Yeah, again, it'll continue. You know, I admire the way that his touch and everything else, but we've got to start seeing some end product. I think when you sort of summarise this, Rob, which I have at the end of my notes here, in one line I've got a win, but not much more, which is maybe a little harsh. And then the next line I've got, I guess after a win against Inter Milan away, the Mo Salah stuff this week, it's another victory, it's a clean sheet, and it's probably what people like us would say he's got to do after the run of losses, conceding goals. Let's just get some grindy victories is exactly what he's doing now. So I do admire that. And that's my last kind of thought on this game is like, it wasn't great. They could have conceded. Some of the creative football wasn't good, but they got a striker up front who's flipping good. And he looks hungry to get more goals. The flair, the creativity, the groove nature of the team is going to have to come because it feels like a totally different Liverpool team to last year. It just is. It looks, feels, smells. Even Anfield, looking at it yesterday, Rob, there's long periods where Brighton had the ball, where Liverpool's were Anfield, and those Liverpool fans are very quiet and it was very flat in there. So but you know, it's a 2-0 win, it's a 2-0 win, and I guess they'll try and slowly improve that as we go on.
Well, I know we've mentioned it, and just to add to that, before we do move on to the next game, is the Joe Gomez thing, Rob, is a worry for me. Like, we can't rely on him. He's so good that he's versatile, can play in any of the back four positions. But might we, if you're Liverpool, obviously the Gay thing will be the choice, but I don't know if that can happen if Palace still in the European football and the money. I don't know what kind of money we talk. Is it possible we go and loan somebody for 6 months who can help us, a young, talented one from somewhere, maybe overseas, or just somebody who can come in? If things aren't right defensively and the team structure is not good, this team are going to continue to concede goals, and it's going to be a problem.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about it, Robert, I mean, it's pretty rare that you get, I mean, what's that? 3 right-backs injured at the same time for Liverpool. Frimpong, of course, they brought in as an attacking right-back. Conor Bradley, who we know all about, again, seems a little, a little injury-prone or can't seem to get a run of results going, and then you play Joe Gomez, who can totally play. He's injured as well. So, I mean, I think the Marc Guéhi knowing what he's like as a player, would be a brilliant signing for the club.
Yeah.
Would be a brilliant signing for the club. He's relatively cheap because his contract's ending very soon. I think you probably could get him in January if they really wanted it. I don't know what Richard Hughes and the club feel about that, but
is that 30 million well spent?
I think it is. Absolutely.
For the 6 months of what that might mean and what options that gives you as a team.
Yeah, and you might not get him in some of this. Who knows? Real Madrid, a giant of a club might come and get him for free, and you might not get him. So by paying the money in January, you're bringing in a absolutely guaranteed, as a Robbie would say, plug and play centre back that's ready to play very well in various systems. I think he can play in a 3, he can maybe play in a 2. Of course, he can play in a 2 as well as does for the national team. So I would, if I was a Liverpool fan, I would really wish that happens, because defensively, Konate, Van Dijk, they need a little bit of a rest now and again, and having him to come in would be marvellous for them.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host of NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch more videos all season long, and for even more Premier League content, from original series to live matches, head over to Peacock.